Next up, let's kiki in this interesting story. So JVN, Jonathan Van Ness, is opening up, and this one hits deep. The Queer Eye star says, quote, contracting HIV saved me because that was the wake-up call that got me to get away from meth, end quote. Behind the glam, giggles, and flawless hair is a survivor who faced addiction and came out the other side with radical honesty. In a powerful new conversation, JVN pulls back the curtain on the darkest chapters of their life, and how that diagnosis became the turning point. You can listen to the full interview on No Filter, but here is a taste.
When I contracted HIV, I was really in a terrible relationship with meth. And I was just relapsing on meth and using meth. And for a lot of people that have meth addiction or engaged in that kind of like chem, sex, queer like culture, it is so pervasive and it is just everywhere you look. And so I think that contracting HIV saved me because that was the wake up call that got me to get away from meth. And I think that if I hadn't gotten HIV, I would have just kept relapsing. And at one point, one of those would have killed me. Like I would have overdosed at some point. I mean, I was doing it all in all the ways. And it's interesting because when I talk about it, I feel this need to be like, I wasn't like doing it every day and I wasn't, but there was like a good bit there where like, I just couldn't get like, because it's like, once you dip your toe in, it's really, they're not kidding when they say, if you do it once, like you will be addicted. Like I literally did it once. And then it took me like a few years to get to a place where like I could never do it again.
HIV became JVN's wake-up call. What are we all talking about? I've never heard them speak so like clear and about this, you know, like it sounds like an oxymoron. Like they found out they had HIV and that saved their life against meth. I mean, meth, I have a few people that are in the fights against meth, okay, unfortunately, that are friends of mine. And I know folks who are still recovering, you know, from a career using meth. Just like JVN, not that there's an easy drug, first of all, but when it comes to meth, you know, everything that I've heard is that like you try it once and you're hooked. And then you've got someone who's got JVN money, who's got a platform, who's got all that, and yet it still took him years to get off it, you know. I can't imagine they had to choose themselves first. You know what I mean? I have this diagnosis. I'm gonna die if I don't do something about this. This is literally my immune system, right? Yeah. Like going against me.
Everybody's rock bottom is so different. And you know, sometimes it's tragic, sometimes it's life-changing, but you know, for him to realize after the diagnosis, you know, at least he didn't dwell on had I caught it earlier, I wouldn't have the diagnosis. But that was triggering. And yeah, he chose himself. So now moving forward, he knows he has a platform and now he can educate other people and inspire other people. And the fact that he's talking about it unfiltered, you know, there's so many people that are watching that or have watched it and be like, you know what, I don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I need to go seek help.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, I mean, folks are living and thriving with HIV these days, right? It's not a death sentence, right? I don't ever want to go back. I know that we keep on saying that we're going back in time, but like, we don't know what it's like to be this age in the 80s and start losing our friends every time we turn, right? I can't imagine going to Hunters and hanging out all these people and then the next week going, hey, where are all these people at? Oh, 3 people died. I can't even begin to imagine that, you know? I know folks, you know, Dale Stein is one of my good friends. He always tells me about his survivor's guilt. You know, and I know he's not alone when it comes to that, right? So, you know, like I said, folks are thriving with an HIV diagnosis these days, but they're thriving because they're taking care of their food intake. They're making sure that they're healthy. They're not using meth. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're doing the work. I mean, they're doing the work and choosing themselves and being very intentional about it. And, you know, self-care, again, self-care is huge. It's courageous. Kudos for you to actually think about yourself as much as you think about other people. Like, what were you thinking about that next hit? Imagine turning all of that energy into yourself. What's my next healthy meal? When am I going to go to the gym next? When am I going to do something for me? Whether it's go sit at the beach, just take in some sun, go for a walk. Like it's a lot. And you know, his rock bottom was a diagnosis, but I'm glad he recognized it and he didn't just give up at that point after getting the diagnosis.
He could have so easily
He could have easily just gone to 100 real quick and just be like, well, since I already have it, well,
might as well, right? Why don't I like infect other people or just like die? You know what I mean? Like I remember for me when I got my breast cancer diagnosis, I'm not going to say that there was, my initial moment was like, fuck it, I might as well drink, right? And I'd already been sober 6-7 years, but I was like, fuck it, might as well drink, right? Yeah. Thank goodness that I always tell my sponsees, you can have your first crazy thought. You can have your second crazy thought. As long as your third thought is bringing it back to how crazy your first and second is, don't worry about it. You're good. You already won the battle by just getting that third thought that says, no, I'm better than that. I deserve more. No, I'm not going to go drink. I'm going to fight this cancer head on and I'm going to freaking beat it. And that's exactly what I did, you know?
So, and JVN did.
So there you go. And there you go. This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community.